everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Anthony and Red's Top 10. I am Anthony Gamer, and I am Red the Fox, and we're going to take a new direction with this channel, or with this sub-channel, I should say. We're not always going to be talking about games. We're going to talk about other things, kind of a slice-of-life thing. Oh, yeah. And so, because Anthony's got a really big episode coming up here about the games at a Pink Panther, we thought it'd be cool to do our top 10 favorite Pink Panther cartoons. Now, before we start on the list, just a little bit of background information there. Now, the Pink Panther was originally featured in the movie The Pink Panther, which was one of them Inspector Clouseau movies. And at the beginning of the film, during the introduction, they had a cartoon featuring the Pink Panther himself in Clouseau. And it became so popular that they decided to make cartoons just based on that character. That's correct. Now, the Pink Panther cartoons themselves, the original run, from which we will draw from, ran from 1964 until 1981, I believe. Or, yeah, somewhere around there. Oh, yeah, that's quite a long run for a cartoon series, I tell you what. Yep. So, we are going to rank our favorite cartoons from the original series. Now, how we're going to rank these here cartoons are based on a couple different factors. How funny it was, the storyline, memorability, stuff like that. Just, overall ones that we just really loved, since we've been watching these all our lives. Oh, yeah. So, without further ado, let's get into the cartoons. Are you ready, Red? Oh, yeah, Red is ready. All right, so let's begin. Now at the number 10 spot we have Pink Tail Fly. This one was released in 1965. In this particular cartoon, our buddy the Pink Panther is trying to go to sleep after a long day of probably doing nothing, and this fly is bugging him. And this isn't an ordinary fly, as you'll find out. He's a little something special. So definitely one of the funnier cartoons. One I remember as a kid, I just used to love this one and still do to this day. And now at the number 9 spot, we have a late release. This is one of the last Pink Panther cartoons made during the initial run. And this is Pink ZZZ from 1978. In this cartoon, the Pink Panther is trying to go to sleep once again, but this time he's being awakened by Alley Cat. He tries everything to get it to go to sleep, but he makes the fatal mistake. And that is what they say about cats. If you feed them, they never go away. So, yep, it really applies in this one. Now at the number 8 spot there, we got another kind of late release, and this is Pink Arcade. This came out in 1978. In this game, kind of showing, this episode. Yeah, sorry, we're so used to talking about games. In this particular cartoon, the Pink Panther goes to an arcade, and it just doesn't work out well. Sometimes this poor guy doesn't have much luck. Yeah, it was around this time period too that arcades became the big deal, as this was around the time when Space Invaders came out. But you'll see in this cartoon, he has bad luck with just about every kind of game that you could imagine being in an arcade. Now at the number 7 spot, we have one of my all-time favorite cartoons, period, and that is Pinkadilly Circus. This was released in 1968. In this particular cartoon, the Pink Panther meets this gentleman with the big nose. Now, he was never actually given a name, just to let you know. They just kind of called him Man. I think he had a different name in one of the later incarnations of the Pink Panther. But anyway, in this one, this gentleman just leaves a nightclub and he finds the Pink Panther with a tack stuck to his foot. He pulls the tack out, and then the Pink Panther becomes his dedicated servant. And his wife doesn't like it, but he uses the Pink Panther to keep his wife away from him. And it ends pretty badly for the man, not for the Pink Panther. But really a fun and enjoyable cartoon, and definitely one of my favorites of all time. Now at the number 6 spot, we have Pink Ice. This is from 1965. Now, this cartoon kind of has a special place in Pink Panther history because it's only one of two cartoons in which the Pink Panther actually speaks. Throughout most of the time of this series and into the next one, the Pink Panther never speaks. This is a couple times. This is one of two where he does. Now, in this episode, the Pink Panther is running a diamond company, and his competitors are stealing diamonds from him under his nose. These two bad Englishmen named Hastings and what's that other dude's name? Hastings and Hoskins. That's it. I'm sorry, Hastings and Hoskins. And then when he steals them back, they get angry. But the Pink Panther is a lot smarter than they are. Consequently, if you didn't know, the gentleman who performed the voice of the Pink Panther in this cartoon was the famous comedian Rich Little. All right, now we're at the number 5 spot. Hard to believe we're halfway done. Oh, yeah. This is a good one, too. Oh, yeah. So, at the number 5 spot, we have Dial P for Pink. This came out in 1964. In this cartoon, this safe cracker, who I don't really know if it's the man or not, or just some generic guy, is trying to steal whatever is inside of this safe. The problem is that the Pink Panther is inside of it, and he is totally clueless. The Panther, is clueless to the fact that he keeps foiling this guy's underhanded deeds. Now at the number 4 spot, we have Pickled Pink. This came out in 1965. In this episode, the Pink Panther runs into, or should I say, a drunk guy comes upon the Pink Panther and feels bad for him because Pink Panther has nowhere to go, no friends, nowhere to sleep. At least that's what he says. And so the drunk guy invites him to come home with him. Only problem is the drunk guy's wife is sick and tired of him bringing home people he meets out on the street, and so the drunk guy has to hide the Panther from his wife. Now, what makes this episode unique is it does have talking in it. The Panther himself doesn't talk, but the legendary voice actor Mel Blanc performs the voice both of the drunk and the wife. Now at the number 3 spot there, we have Prefabricated Pink from 1967. Now, this one here is hilarious, and actually, in one of the games that Anthony's going to discuss, they kind of, one of the levels from that game comes from this particular cartoon. In this one, the Pink Panther walks onto a construction site and decides to hire himself to work construction. The problem is, while he's trying to do stuff, he ends up sabotaging multiple versions of the man and the foreman while on the site. Lots of slapstick, lots of funny stuff in this one. Probably, of all the Pink Panther cartoons, this one contains the most belly laughs. At the number 2 spot, we have my favorite Pink Panther cartoon, or one of my favorites, I should say, and that is Sink Pink from 1965. This is the second time in the original run of the Pink Panther where he talks. And not only that, but we have this hunter who is being voiced by the great voice actor Paul Frees. In this one, this hunter has gone to Africa to get himself some fur pieces, as he says, for his wife Nora, and he gets the idea to do his own version of Noah's Ark and corner the animals in the Ark. The only problem is the Pink Panther is too smart to fall for it, and he spends the rest of the cartoon trying to get the Pink Panther, but again, the Pink Panther is smarter than the average human. Now, the Pink Panther only gets one line in this cartoon, but it's quite a doozy, and he, of course, is voiced once again, or should I say for the first time, chronologically speaking, by Rich Little. And he says,
"Why can't man be more like animals?"
Now, before we get to the number 1 spot, we want to let you guys know this was not easy to pick. Oh yeah, it wasn't easy to get to 10 because, there's so many good cartoons made by MGM starring the Pink Panther. That's one way of putting it. Yeah, I could have just said Pink Panther cartoons, but anyway, there were so many of them, it was really hard to center it down to, get it down to 10. Yeah, but we were able to pull it off. Of course, there are a couple honorable mentions, ones that didn't quite make the cut, and those were Rockabye Pinky from 1966, Pink Panic from 1966, and Pink Plunk Plink from 1966. But here we go with the number one cartoon, actually the number one Pink Panther cartoon, and that is Pink Fink from 1964, and this would be the very first Pink Panther cartoon. Now, maybe it's kind of a cop out to pick the first cartoon as number one, but it really set the stage for the rest of the cartoons. Oh, yeah. Not to also mention that this cartoon won an Academy Award. Oh, yeah. Now, in this cartoon, the man is trying to paint this house blue. However, the Pink Panther wants to paint everything, including the house and the world, pink. So really a lot of funny gags in this one. Yeah, it really set the stage for the rest of the cartoons, and it really did deserve that Academy Award for sure. Oh yeah. Well, now that brings this episode of Anthony and Red's Top 10 to a close. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure and subscribe and give us a like if you haven't already, and don't forget to click that little bell icon down there so you'll be notified when we upload some new episodes. That's correct, Red. Also, please make sure that you're still subscribed. I've had trouble lately, and other people have told me they have too, where for some reason YouTube unsubscribes you from channels, including channels I've been following for like years. So please make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Check out my Teespring store. Don't forget to connect with me on all my social media platforms. Check out my Patreon, where you'll find some stuff you won't find anywhere else. Plus, we'll put your name up here at the end of the video to thank you for your contribution. Hopefully, my episode about the Pink Panther game should be coming up really shortly. Again, I want to thank everyone for the prayers and positive energy during this time of my health crisis. It's very much appreciated. Well, until next time, I'm Anthony Gamer, and I am Red the Fox, and we will see you all in the next episode of Anthony and Red's Top 10. See you soon. Bye for now. Goodbye, everyone.